I got a great question the other day from a business owner. She has an amazing product and she has a lot of demand for her product. The question that she asked me was, I think I may be ready to move into opening a brick and mortar building so that I can provide more of my product and serve my local community. But that means that I'm going to have to expand beyond just me. I'm going to have to go from entrepreneur to the leader of multiple employees, or at least a second employee. And how do I let go of control in order to hire? That is an excellent question, and one that I think shows a lot of maturity. There's a lot of vulnerability involved in admitting, even to ourselves, that the issue really stems from control. But I would ask that business owner and anyone who finds themselves in a similar position, whether they are expanding beyond entrepreneurship and into hiring for the first time, or whether they already have a team and they're looking to delegate, to let go of responsibilities and get things off of their plate in order to focus on growth. And that is something that absolutely has to happen if you're going to grow. But the question that I would ask anyone in that position is this: take a step back first and decide, what do you want your role to be? I don't mean as business owner. Obviously, you already own your business, and that's awesome that you're in a place that you're ready to grow to your next step. But I would ask you to take a step back and to think through, what do you want your role within your business to be? This is your chance, as you're considering growing, to think through, do I want to focus specifically on the product? Do I want to focus specifically on providing the service directly to my customer or client? Even providing that customer service aspect of the direct sale, because for some people that just really fills you with joy. Or am I ready to move into stepping back more from that and into leadership, into development, into management of a team? What is it that gets you going? What is it that brings you joy? Because that's not the same answer for everyone. I've had some clients who really love doing the thing. And for them, they're going to want to get an assistant, get an office manager, eventually a COO, whatever fits within their business, to take a lot of those admin things off of their plate so that they can focus specifically on the client, the customer, the product, the service. That person may stay an entrepreneur if they don't already have a team. They may just get a part-time assistant, even a virtual assistant, try to automate as many tasks as they can. And I would invite you, if you're in that place and you're not sure what you can do, I have my website linked down below. I always offer a free discovery call, and I'd be happy to take a look with you at just taking an overview and seeing if I might be able to help you to identify some places where you can pass things off. That your role, your ideal goal within your business may be to stay as an artisan, to stay as a service provider, and to offload everything that you can to somebody else, or even to keep it as small as possible and just to automate. Now, the other group of clients that I work with are people who want to keep their hands in the work to some degree, and that to me is always appropriate. That is always a goal, because you want to stay within some kind of proximity to the customer or client to where you're on the front lines, even just a couple of hours a week, so that you know firsthand what their current needs are, what their changing needs, and the opportunities that you have with your team to serve them. But you may be ready to step more into a leadership role, or to step more, if you already have that leadership management role, you may be ready to step into development. And that is a really exciting place to be. But you can't just go from overwhelmed, already having your hands full, to also developing something else without letting go. And so once you've decided what your role is, what is it that gives you joy? What are those moments during the week when you are just in the zone, when you're losing track of time, when you come home and you say, today was awesome, I feel satisfied, I feel fulfilled, I feel successful, and you end up talking about it with your spouse, your partner, your kids, your friends, whoever it is, your dog, whoever you talk to at home, your plants, let's be honest. those are the moments that you want to capitalize on, and you want to make more room in your schedule for that. It's possible. It is totally possible. If you think it's not, if you're sitting there going, okay, that would never happen, that would never be possible, can I just remind you that you are the owner of the business? At the end of the day, as much as you want to listen to your customers and clients, much as you want to do your market research, as much as you want to lead your team effectively and listen to your employees, can I just remind you that you are in charge and you call the shots? And there is a way. Whatever it is that you want to do, there is a way. Now, you have to make sure it lines up with your overall life values and that it's not cutting into or impinging on any of those. However, there is always a way, and there are multiple. Oftentimes, we pigeonhole ourselves into a role that we don't even want, and then we just assume that that's our lot in life. And I'm just telling you, business owner is not a one-size-fits-all job. It's not a job title that has only this specific criteria to it. There are so many ways that you can design your role, and now is a perfect time to do so before you get ready to grow. Okay, second question, getting back to, we've talked about your role and what you want that to be. Now getting back to the original question, which was such an awesome question, and I think honestly hits the nail on the head with what is often our issue when it comes to delegating or to hiring in the first place. And that is, how do you let go of control enough to do that? You care about your product or your service. Otherwise, you wouldn't be offering it. You care about your customers and your clients, and you want to make sure that you are providing them with excellence. In the words of Warren Buffett, you are delighting them. You also care about your image, and this reflects you, and that's not a bad thing. Your reputation of yourself and of your business is an essential part to your branding. It's an essential part of what attracts your customer or your client to come in the first place, what brings them back, and what spreads by word of mouth the word that your product or service is awesome, that it's worth checking out and spending money on. So you're not wrong. That being said, the real question to me is figuring out what are your priorities. And if you've done the work, there's another video that I did on values and figuring out what your values are. If you've done the work to figure out your values and you've figured out the mission and vision of your business, again, another video, I'll link it down below, then you are ready to figure out what your priorities are. And when you figure out your priorities, all of a sudden you can start letting go of other things, either completely taking them off of your plate or letting go of what we do a little bit too much sometimes, which is micromanaging. So to do that, we've got to figure out what are our priorities, what are the things that are most important to us. It's not that the other things don't matter. It's just that if they were not absolutely perfect and ideal, it would be okay. Life would continue, your business would keep working, you'd be able to put out products and services maybe even faster, more efficient, and with the value of added perspectives to your product or to your service because you've got other eyes, you've got other people who are interacting with your customers or clients who maybe come from a different background and can see things that you can't see. So there is absolutely value to expanding your team or to delegating things that are currently on your plate to people who can specialize. It comes down to what are your priorities? What are the things that are most important to you? Now, I'm going to make a part 2 to this video talking about hiring and investing in your team. But for right now, the only thing that I'm talking about in this is prioritization. So I'll give you an example. When I got married, I cared about everything. I mean, most brides do. I heard from a lot of people who are in the wedding industry, I was worried that I was way too picky, and they said, oh my gosh, you should see the bridezillas that we work with. You were fine. My sisters had a different story. They saw me behind the scenes and were helping me out a ton in the week before my wedding and before that, and they were super helpful. They tell a little bit of a different story of it. However, that being said, I got some excellent advice that I want to pass on to you. Somebody told me, by the time you've got everything organized, figured out, and delegated to people who will take care of them the day of your wedding, choose one or two things that you really care about and let go of the rest. It's going to happen or it's not going to happen. At the end of the day, you're going to be married. That's all that counts. Well, in my mind, there was a lot more that counted. But that advice enabled me to be able to let go of having to control, having to have my focus on, having to put my attention that needed to be free to be on experiencing this big day onto all of those little details. And I still got to hang on to making sure that the quality of a couple of things that I really cared about was still in place. The things I chose, my own dress, and the dresses of my bridesmaids. So, and they turned out great. It looked good. I will tell you, there were some problems and there were some things that happened. My dress started to get some stains on it throughout the day, even before the ceremony itself, which freaked me out. But you know what? Because I knew the rest of it was handled, I had already made sure that every task had somebody assigned to it and they were handling it. Now, would it turn out perfect? Probably not. There are probably still things I don't know about. But at the end of the day, the wedding went off well. People are still giving me compliments for details that I had thought of or that other people had provided, that they were like, oh my gosh, I've never been to a wedding that had that, or this was so great, I had so much fun. So when you apply that to your business and you think through your product, your service, what it is that you are giving to your customers or clients, your success, the meeting of their urgent, pressing needs, together with what you do, you and your team do well, and what you're passionate about. If you've gotten success, if you've made an impact and you have earned revenue, hopefully profit from it, it's successful. It doesn't have to be perfect. And every detail being perfect, you having to ensure every detail being perfect yourself, if you don't just want to be the sole artisan or provider who is providing that service to every single client or customer, which is okay. If that's not you, if you want to expand and move beyond that, then you've got to be able to let go of those things. And choosing one or two things to take care of yourself and to ensure the quality of yourself and let those things, the rest of the things go, while still ensuring, generally speaking, that is on track, is going to free you up to be able to develop and to take your business into its next big growth phase. So I will talk about applying those priorities into how you hire and train your team so that your priorities are still carried out and so that the general quality is still assured to a high level. Obviously, I'm not saying just scrap your quality, but you can make sure that that is still being carried out and still hire employees and invest in them. Make sure that you are investing in training and developing them so that they are pouring into your product, your service, your customer, your client. So I will bring that up in the next video. For now, I just want to hear from you. Leave me a comment down below and tell me, how does this strike you? Does this help? Do these ideas help of prioritizing and getting clear on your role? If not, what has helped you more? Because you may have experience that I haven't thought of in your particular situation or that I haven't personally experienced or seen with my clients. So leave a comment down below. I would love to hear from you, and I would love the rest of the watchers, the viewers of this video to also be able to hear from you. Let's create a community. Let's have dialogue going on. We do business just like we do life, so much better in community. So speaking of, I'd love to continue this conversation. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon to be notified of the next video coming out, particularly the part 2 of this, hiring and investing in employees. And if this video spoke to you, think about who else might enjoy watching it as well and think about sharing it with them. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.